cheetah package, and Lightfoot 12 is able to chase him out of bounds with that tremendous speed. So really could not have started any better for Miami. A couple losses on 2 runs, and then they're able to pressure with just bringing 4 there on that 3rd down and long.
Tommy Doman comes from Michigan, had 2 solid years, solid start to the season. Malachi Toney was born to play football. Just turned 18 on Thursday. He electrified this place against Notre Dame, so much so they shifted their coverage to him in the second half to try to stop him.
Yeah, he's off to such a great start. It's amazing. You said he's just turned 18. He reclassified. He's a guy, you saw him in his opener against Notre Dame, talking to his coaches this week. It's the guy that, some guys are born with that flatliner approach to the game, and Carson Beck will definitely be looking for him tonight.
Beck clutch against Notre Dame, took good care of the football. The 2 picks came against USF, but they were well ahead in that game. They scored 7 touchdowns here last week against the team that beat the Gators. Keep that in mind. Great field position for their first possession after that 12-yard return. Mark Fletcher Jr. has stepped into the feature back role. He's got the football. They run right, and they usually run over people when they go to that side. Picks up about 12-13. Tight end helped the blockers there.
Oh, a hat on a hat. Nice counter play there. C.J. Daniels, the leader. They had a question mark at receiver coming into this year, and he has really stepped up. The transfer from LSU. Fletcher, Chris just talked about, big physical runner, one of the leaders of this team. Tyreek Sapp's going to have to make plays, and 3 starting defensive linemen down tonight for Florida. 94 is going to have to make plays off the edge, and Miles Graham, the son of Ernest Graham, the former Gator, is at that second level. Had a great game last week against LSU.
Play action, batted down at the line, tried to slip it across the middle and getting the big hand up to make the play. That was Jaden Robinson, middle linebacker position.
That was a huge play by Jaden Robinson. The tight end was able to slip behind the pressure. And they had a chance there for a big play. Good call there. Everybody was looking up. There's Shannon Dawson on the left, calls plays for the Miami offense. Ron Roberts, defensive coordinator for the Gators.
Everybody crowding the line. Fletcher unable to get any downhill momentum that time. Miami will want to lean on the Gators. That big route a year ago, they ran right through them early, and it set the tone.
They feel, despite the injuries, this offensive line is going to obviously test him. Brockermeyer put on 20 pounds. Is really the anchor there in the middle as he's bounced around. He came over from TCU. The right tackle is probably the most talented right tackle in all of college football. Maui Noah.
Gator defense a chance here for a big stop on 3rd and 8. Beck has time, launches over the middle, loves to work the middle of the field, and that's Malachi Toney getting involved early. They moved to 6 with a 13-yard pickup.
Interesting, you see this defender, he actually looks right to the receiver that might be coming to him, and it is the young freshman, Toney. But what a great job. Chris, you talked about that kind of the feel and the instincts. He's covered, but does a nice job of working with his quarterback, kind of slides to the outside where that space is and allows Beck to be able to hit him right between the 1 and the 0 there for a first down.
Beck's first touchdown pass as a Hurricane came to Toney early against Notre Dame, and it's one of those plays you cannot believe he's got those kind of instincts as a true freshman. Marty Brown breaks free. Brown out of the backfield, barreling down. He stepped out of bounds about the 5. Ran through a tackle of Jordan Castell, picked up 23.
Yeah, and Florida did everything you can do there to defend that. They leveraged the football out to the outside. They don't let him bounce to the outside, work through the block, force it back inside, bang, make that tackle right there, but Castell unable to do so. And the Canes, Fletcher gets a lot of attention, but you'll see Brown, you'll see Lyle. It's kind of a 3-headed monster back there for the Canes. And right now, Shannon Dawson's got to love to see the execution from this Canes offense.
Throwing haymakers. 1st and goal at the 6. They spotted back a yard. Brown from Omaha, came from North Dakota State, won a national championship there at the FCS level. He's got the football. And look at them just push the line of scrimmage, just reshape the line of scrimmage.
Well, they say we got to put a dent on this defensive line, meaning they need to get a push.
Short-handed front, we should mention that for the Gators. Caleb Banks out, George Gumbs out, Michael Burrow out. Those are 3 key D linemen.
Mention that the three starters down. The big thing is that they feel it's the deepest room that they have on their team. So maybe not as experienced. Those are three great players, but they do feel that they have the bodies. But right now they're getting some smash mouth. They're going to get it some more right here.
Offensive lineman wearing 46, the fullback, a two-back look as Brown tries to just muscle his way in. Touchdown, they signal it. What a flex from the Hurricanes on their first possession. Wow.
I mean, they go old school Mario Cristobal there on those last couple plays. You know we're going to run it. We're the T formation. It's the last time you saw a T formation down inside a 2-yard line with a couple backs to lead the way, a couple tight ends. Florida did a good job initially, but that offensive line just kept churning and kept moving those legs, kept pushing all the way across the goal line.
Big Alo Faitula, you can call him SJ as they do. He's an old lineman who wears 46 on those jumbo sets. Put him at fullback, and then two very powerful backs, and that is exactly what Mario Cristobal wants the personality of this team to be. Carter Davis, who kicked that game-winning field goal to beat Notre Dame, knocks the PAT through.
Well, we always talk about quarterbacks and skill. It's a great reminder about the line of scrimmage. Both sides of the ball, Miami dominating with their defense. They get the ball, and then the offensive line takes control.
First opponent to score in their first possession against Florida in the last 12 games.
Whoa, it's the Capital One Bank guy.
Davis bangs it into the back of the end zone. Well, Napier and Cristobal were at Saban's Alabama staff between 13 and 16. They won the 15 national championship. A guy named Kirby Smart coordinated the defense. A guy named Lane Kiffin was the play caller.
All right, now.
These guys
good luck.
Coordinators and then became head coaches year after that. Well, that was interesting.
Oh, good luck to you, too. Little pat on the backside there. Mario had to even to score. All right, Gators, first three plays, all three negative. Couple runs for negative yards. The pass, he got chased down by Lightfoot.
Students are down to that end of Hard Rock, and they're trying to make themselves heard. Not the largest student section, but they are pumped up at the moment. Fake handoff, end around. They try to get Eugene Wilson, known as Trey, but he was chased down quickly by Keontae Scott. Picked up maybe a yard.
Yeah, Keontae Scott is a great player. They ended up bringing him over from Auburn as a transfer player. Does a nice job here getting to the outside and not letting the very talented, very quick Eugene Wilson get outside of it. A little misdirection trying to take advantage of Miami's speed, but the discipline there by the nickel Scott. Great play.
We have to say transfer. They're all transfers basically in Miami's back end. 7 DBs brought in. And somehow they've all come together and gelled. Lagway, short throw to the tight end, Tony Livingston. But again, space is closed down quickly. Zachariah Poyser has been playing great this season. Picked up 7, so it's third and reasonable here.
Yeah, they brought pressure that time. Nobody's able to get out to the tight end. Good job of recognizing that by DJ Lagway and got the ball out in a hurry to give him his tight end a chance to make the catch, turn upfield. Now they got a shot here on 3rd and short.
Lagway as a runner. He's 247 pounds, always a factor from this down and distance. Ball off to his left.
Yeah, that ball moved before he snapped it. The center.
2-year captain Jake Slaughter, very solid guy. Did not expect him to make a mental error. Well, so much for 3rd and reasonable.
Yeah, you could see that in real time. That the ball, it just a little bit of a movement, and then he stops, and that's obviously a no-no. Good call by the umpire. Florida, Chris, tonight through the year, anything on 3rd and long, 3rd and 7 plus, converting 6%.
1 for 16 coming in, is that?
Yeah.
That's not going to get it done?
No, and here they are, 0 for 1 already. Let's see if this line can hold up against his pressure.
Ball motioning around. Plenty of time on the play clock. Canes don't bring extra rushers. Lagway slips as he gets the ball out. Ball makes the catch, avoids one tackle. Fighting hard, but he's going to be stopped well short. There's a flag down in the offensive pit area.
And they get a hold on the right guard, Damian George. Miami will decline that. I mean, is Miami got
on the offense, number 70. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
They got 14 guys on defense. I mean, you're not allowed to play with 14, are you? I mean, they're everywhere. Right here, 70. Again, that speed. These guys get by him. Mesidor gets by him. He just grabs onto him. We talked about it at the outset of this broadcast, the challenge on the road against this defense this offensive line is going to face, and we've seen it already in these first 2 possessions.
Owen punched it away. This time Tony let it bounce sideways and out of bounds. Talked about Corey Heatherman. How many times does he say the word violent in one meeting? I guess he says that about 1,000 times in a football context.
Yeah.
It's different in football than outside.
Just between the lines. With that turf toe, had surgery, out for a number of weeks, maybe months.
Handed to Fletcher, again running to the right side. And he's going to fall forward. Doesn't look like much, and you realize, we got 6 on first down.
I don't want to say it was 7 minutes to go here in the first quarter. This is Miami's second series. This is a huge series for the Gators defense. Down 7. The way this game feels, they cannot get down 14 with the way their offense is playing right now.
Kind of semi-tempo for the Canes on this second down play, but you got a pre-snap penalty. They don't do a lot of tempo. Shannon Dawson told us they'll do it tactically here.
Number 73, 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
They know the Gators are shorthanded up front. They want to kind of press the issue, but it cost them 5 there.
Yeah, and Shannon Dawson is a play caller. He has it obviously in his background where they can go, whether you're going to call it NASCAR, whatever you want, whatever term you want to use. And his quarterback, Carson Beck, when he was at Georgia, they had at times an ability to go fast. So as long as your quarterback and your play caller are comfortable with it, you can get everybody else to kind of mix it in from time to time.
3 receivers to Beck's left. He's looking that way. Right across the middle and nicely broken up. Dijon Johnson reached around Keelan Marion and batted it down. It's going to be 3rd and 9.
And what a play there. Good job of body control there by 27. Johnson able to not interfere with the receiver. Got that right hand around. Good job of locating the football, which is always so tough to do. Perfect timing there, and they get him to a 3rd and 9.
Gators bring pressure. Beck shuffles the feet, checks it down. Catch made by C.J. Daniels, and the LSU and Liberty alum stretches for a first down. The veteran leader of that receiving room.
Well, watch Brown here. One of the things you got to do, or Graham rather, 5, he slips. We heard in the open that the conditions, with the rain, it's the biggest thing you got to be concerned about is just a slippery surface. And there in that pivot route, Miles Graham just lost his footing. Made it very easy. Good effort by Daniels after the catch to fight for that first down yardage.
Daniels injured in the spring, Kirk, but that didn't matter. He came in and was still a leader, even though he couldn't practice. Just galvanizing this young group. They have 3 true freshmen, 3 portal receivers. They lost basically everybody from a year ago.
Yeah. And now you're coming off a game, really a couple games where anytime you self-destruct, the mindset of a team when you come in and you got some new personnel that you're referring to, you definitely have to have that ability. Somebody's got to make a play, take a stand here.
Fletcher again plows forward. Boy, it just sets up your series. You're getting 6-7 yards on the ground on first down. Very tough to stop this offense.
Well, and the other thing, Florida is a team that no matter who they play, this year they've done a lot of too high safety looks. We call it putting a shell on a defense, meaning you're not going to have the numbers to stop a team that wants to run the ball. So Miami says, okay, you're already depleted as a defensive line. Our strength is our running game and our offensive line. We're going to make you get your safeties down. Then we're going to take our big shots downfield once we get those 2 safeties to have to come down.
Play clock was a 9. Cristobal elects to spend a timeout. You're right. This is a crucial series for the Gator defense. Can they get off the field? 3rd down when you come back. It's like that.
I know.
All right, 3rd down for the Canes. Gators desperate to get off the field here in defense. Beck has plenty of time. It's a low ball Catch made for a first down. Going down was Elijah Lofton. He's had some nagging injuries, but they say he's, quote, a dude at tight end.
Well, he was a dude there to be able to hold on to that. Once again, Graham in coverage, losing his footing on that pivot route.
Brown with a first down run again to the right. They are pulverizing that side of the Gators front.
Yeah, it must feel good to be able to have linemen that just push people around. They're running a lot of misdirection, a lot of counters. And when you run a counter to that right side, you have to be able to dent that side to be able to allow the guard and the tight end to be able to pull around. And they've definitely been able to do that.
I know LSU is a good football team. We saw them go to Clemson and win. But they don't run the ball like this. And I think the challenge that Miami is presenting to this defense is a lot different than what they faced in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, these are body blows that really add up as this game goes on, especially in this heat.
Again, 2nd and 5. Brown this time running to the left into heavier traffic, picks up just a yard. Holly?
Well, Mark Fletcher, the running back for Miami, told me that this offensive line is the most self-driven group on the team. They're always in here in the building for extra workouts, extra technical drills, extra conditioning. He said even on the days when guys are down, it's the offensive line that's picking everybody up. He said they are the tip of this spear, meaning this Miami offense, and you're showing them do that tonight. After that first great drive, Mario Cristobal came over and was yelling in their face. He knows these guys are mashing it up tonight.
Canes 3 for 3 on third, need 5 here. Going to try to run for it, and they light up the gut and push the pile. It's still rolling. Oh my goodness. 12 yards on a middle run.
Well, what a job. We talk about the right side. How about the left side and what they do? 78, hat on a hat. That's McCoy, Bell, 70, the left tackle, who, by the way, 6'9", 340. Again, the DNA of this team, as much as Carson Beck gets talked about in the transfer, and it's a big story, it's still Mario Cristobal. Just like when he was a head coach at Oregon, just like his background as an offensive lineman, prides himself on doing what we just saw, running the football on third down. That's their third down. That's their third down conversion on this drive.
Running left again. Marty Brown spins back to the middle. What Holly said is important. Not only the most self-driven, everybody says they're the hardest working unit, both in the weight room, in the film study. When O-line can be that representative of the program ideals.
I agree. I think it impacts the rest of the team. It really just sets the tone. When you have an offensive lineman as a group, not one or two, but the entire group buy into that. That's, you always hear coaches talk about culture, and when you have that room that plays with an edge and plays with physicality, man, it's a beautiful thing.
Beck looking to throw in 2nd and 7. Launches downfield way over the head of the tight end, Alex Bowman. Not close there.
Imagine trying to be the
flag is down, by the way.
The flag down. Like a little bit late.
I just fell out, I'm told. No penalty.
Okay.
So another third down.
He actually got knocked down by a Gator defender. Maybe that's why the flag came out. 4th third down here. They're not going to run it here now, right?
Surely not. Beck, clean pocket, delivers, and right at the marker. The catch is made by Malachi Tony, who always seems to know exactly where to be on his routes.
And again, we keep saying it, this guy that reclassified, he should be a senior in high school. Just turned 18. Should be playing high school football and has that kind of feel in these first 3 or 4 weeks in college football. The moment the game is not too big, he knew exactly where to go. And by the way, give Shannon Dawson a lot of credit. Did a nice job of kind of stretching that Gator defense out horizontally. Had a wheel route going down, spread it out, and then give him a nice big opening there to be able to make that throw to Tony.
Showing a lot of this two-back look in the early going, and the snap was messed up there. Haven't seen Jordan Lyle, who was the opening night starter against Notre Dame. He's a Blazer, got injured in that game. Fletcher and Brown have stepped up, but Lyle is ready to go tonight.
Offense. Number 52, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So each experienced center has made a mistake tonight.
Yeah, let's watch this ball. Bill, can you hop in here? Did that ball? Why is that not a fumble? Did it?
No, it's got to be clean, and it never came off his hand clean. So that's going to be a snap infraction.
Looks like the rain has let up, but the simple things can become complicated in this tropical weather. Final minute of the first quarter. On 1st and 15, they do run it with Fletcher. He picks up about 4.5. What can the Gators do, Kirk? Shorthanded up front to try to slow down this running game.
That's a good question.
Putting 9 in the box?
Well, they are starting to see them get a few more guys down into the box, but what affects them here is you're coming off a game last week. We had the 5.
When given a chance, Beck has executed really well. The protection's held up.
Well, if Miami's goal was to wear Florida down, this is going to be the 14th play coming up when we come back and start the second quarter on this drive because of those conversions on 3rd down.
All Canes. The lead is 7 after 15 minutes here at Hard Rock Stadium. End of 1. Back after this message.
And by Florida. Another snap.
Kind of thing that'll drive a coach crazy, though. You are playing well. You're overpowering your opponent.
Snap infraction. 52 on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
I mean, Brockermeyer is a dude who played at Alabama for 3 years, played a good season at TCU a year ago. They go to the portal, and a couple mess-ups early, the veteran.
Yeah, he's really the anchor of that front.
2nd and 16. Beck, again, has plenty of time. Now runs out of it, and he'll be sacked. Good coverage there, and finally, Jaden Woods, the true freshman, got home.
Well, you said it, Chris. That's a coverage sack. Carson Beck's eyes are looking to his left. Watch his head. He looks to his left. Nobody's there. By the time he comes back, there's coverage downfield. So great job by that defensive front. Eventually he's able to get in there with the freshman. Very talented freshman Woods, and that's what the Gators needed to get Beck and the Canes behind the sticks.
It's been hard for this defense. They've been stout, but to make disruptive impact plays. Just the 3rd sack of the season. They only have 3 takeaways. And Beck, again, misfire. 2nd time he's tried to find Alex Bowman, the tight end, and tight end wasn't even looking at that point. So all of a sudden the execution not crisp for the Canes on this possession.
No, the Gators have something to cheer for. You're right. Bauman, 87, you see him checking for the blitz, and he's just a check down just in case everything's taken away, but he's still blocking. So the Gators, after 15 plays, they get a stop here.
They went backwards, and that creates a 53-yard field goal attempt for Carter Davis, who certainly got the leg for it. Booted a 47-yarder to win the game here against Notre Dame that was near the top of the upright. So distance shouldn't be an issue. Wet track. Ball down, kick driven, and it is hammered through. It's hard to believe his stats were actually quite poor at his previous school, FAU. Canes have found a kicker, and it's 10-0 first minute of quarter 2. They did it.
They figured it out with a pretty good team.
VB3 going to let that one land way beyond the paint.
Well,
All right, so you're DJ Lagway, Kirk. You're looking for a spark. What do you do to get this offense going?
You get on your offensive line. Every time they've run the football, and it hasn't been pretty, there's been penetration. They've not been able to get any positive yards at all running the football. And we talked about they had -5 yards. And Ball, every time he gets his hands on the ball, he's trying to evade a Miami Hurricane defender from that defensive line. You're probably going to have to move Lagway around. He's athletic enough to do that. You don't want him sitting back in that pocket, but they're going to have to somehow get this run game going, and maybe you include him in the run game.
They fake it to Jacoby Jackson, and Lagway looking to throw on 1st down, zips it high and way over the head of J. Michael Sturdivant.
You know, DJ Lagway is a very, very talented guy. Had a bunch of injuries, missed spring football, missed most of camp. This week was his 5th week of practice since January. So as good as he is, quarterbacks have to have reps in practice. You have to get your timing down with your skill guys. So when you see balls sail like that, it's still him trying to kind of find that rhythm.
Jackson into the hole. Yeah, had a very serious lower core injury that required some treatment. Then when you go back and you throw, you're kind of off balance, and he hurt his shoulder had a calf injury as well.
I mean, he's hit every obscure injury you can think of to slow him down. But the bottom line was he wasn't practicing, and he wanted to be out there, but he couldn't. So you're watching a guy basically that's still in camp mode, that's trying to play in front of a nationally televised audience against one of the top defenses in the country with not a lot of help right now up front.
Trying to convert here on 3rd and 6. Canes rush 4. Belagway still going to get flushed. Trying to create, has a blocker on the edge. Bang down hard right near the marker. See where they spot it. Poyser knocked him down along with Basaint. It's going to be just short, I believe, where they're spotting it. 4th down.
Well, that was a big emphasis this week. Hey, Lagway's going to take off. He's a big part of what they can do, especially when he creates. And when he does, we're going to do this. Bang. We got to hit him and send a message. They got to go for this here.
Inside their own 35. Handoff. Just breaking a tackle long enough to get the first down as Jackson.
I mean, I think we're all sensing the same thing that Billy Napier is. This is going to be a tough night in the trenches. You got to try to go for it. Take a chance. Smart call. Good job there on that left side, getting just enough room there for the back to be able to pick it up. Jacoby Jackson.
Ran through the arm of Jacoby Thomas. So the initial first down for the Gators. VB3 is in the backfield. Option look. It's a reverse. And this is Trey Wilson around the corner. They're doing a lot with the running game this season to try to create in different ways because the straight-up run's not working very well.
No, they tried that a little bit earlier. Remember, we saw the discipline of the nickel there, Scott, and this time a good job by Mesidor staying home, and boy, did he make a hit. Remember I said they show up, they want to be violent? He's in bounds. That's a clean whoop. He got him there at the helmet, but it was in bounds. They may take a peek at that. Not yet.
It's an SEC crew working this, and they don't buzz down for targeting. Wide open is Jackson in the flat, and arriving with a huge blow is Mohamed Touré to stop him short there. It's going to be 3rd and 4.
Yeah, that's 3 straight plays that we've seen big hits. This is, at this point, they're feeling like they're not going to run the ball that well. This is basically an extension of the run game. Canes dropping back in coverage, just dumping underneath and hope you can get some yards after the catch. Another 3rd down here. Big hits. If violence is the goal, they're accomplishing that.
Lagway pulls it and fires, but way over the head of VB3, who was standing on the sideline. Mesidor brought the pressure. It's 4th down again. It looks like the punting team is coming out.
Yeah. Brown went into motion, number 8. You see him right there. He goes down that right sideline, but he just does not have enough time. As you mentioned, Mesidor is able to get in there. The tight end underneath there, taken away. Hansen, just nowhere to go with the football. Good coverage by Miami. Good discipline.
Tony back, retreats, waves for a fair catch. It bounces into the end zone. He's been inaccurate, Lagway. Do you put that into the pressure or just the uncertainty of that?
I think both. Combination of both. I think it's what Miami's doing as a defense, and him, again, still trying to kind of find his rhythm. Last series, 15 plays.
Marty Brown picks his way patiently. Talked about Shannon Dawson, who calls plays from the field, not typical, but he likes the constant conversation. Beck really appreciates him and click with this coach.
Yeah, it was great to talk to Shannon Dawson yesterday and just kind of get caught up in the transition for Carson Beck leaving Georgia, coming down to Miami, a new start, new place. And he said, he was a little fragile when we first had him. And, we had to build a rapport, build a trust. And from that point on, once they established that, it's been great.
Beck had to collect a wide snap, and on the move, a low ball, incomplete. Too low for Tony Johnson. That play was kind of messed up from the start. Rockerbar's having trouble with the snaps so far tonight.
Far to the right. You're right. Good athletic play there.
So Todd Monk can call plays for Georgia, and then Mike Bobo did. 2 excellent guys at that job. different kind of vibe from Dawson, though.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Very, very different. Obviously, Todd Monken, now what he's doing with Baltimore. Bobo's doing a great job at Georgia. Sometimes you just, because of some of the experiences you had, sometimes in this new transfer portal era, you need a change. And he's at Miami, and he and Shannon Dawson have been a good fit.
Back across the middle on third down. Broken up nicely. Reaching over to make the play with Sharif Denson. There's a flag down.
Yeah, the flag came down right where he made the play. So
Elijah Lofton, the tight end, also down on the field.
Holding on the defense, number 0. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Like at the top of the break, he grabbed the jersey. I was like, boy, I thought that was a good play. But if you go back a little further, you'll see him grab onto the jersey right there. And that's what they ended up calling.
It's a big play on 3rd and 6, Bill. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm good with the grab. That causes a restriction, takes a step away from the receiver. I'm good with it.
Bill's good with it. See,
I am too. At first, I thought if you just saw the end of the play, I thought he made a clean play. But as he came across the top of that route and moved across, there was definitely a grab of the jersey.
Running right. Banging forward. Fletcher. They never get him down. They just run him out. But it's on the Gators side of the field. And this running game just continues to deliver body blows.
Right guard does a nice job coming around 73. That's Cooper. Also, good job. You know, these receivers really pride themselves in being able to make good blocks. Time it was the back kind of leading the way, Brown. So it's one thing that's unique about Miami. We talk a lot about the offensive line. You talked about the culture, maybe the offensive line, the tone they set. But this Miami group of receivers, these backs, such an unselfish group of skill players. Feels good to say that about Miami.
Fletcher, 7.6 on his 7 carries so far. Got the ball again. When Jordan Lyle went out and Fletcher came in, I don't think Notre Dame believed that Miami could run downhill through that tough defense, but they showed them they could. Holly?
Well, guys, you said Carson Beck was fragile, not only psychologically, but physically. He's coming off that ulnar collateral ligament surgery. He got here and he was in a huge brace, and he said when he started trying to bend his arm, January, February, it was excruciating. People were having to physically pull and bend his arm so his elbow could straighten. It's a miracle that he's out here throwing as well as he is. He said it's some of the worst pain I've ever been through in my life.
Yeah, he told us tears in his eyes. That was every morning at 5:30. How about starting your day that way? The excruciating elbow pain. But PT can change your life if you embrace it, and Carson certainly did.
I know you did that, right?
I think anybody who's been injured, even if you're a non-athlete like me, you appreciate what those guys do. But it was hard for him because he wasn't sure the ball was going to come out the same way, Kirk. It's like a pitcher hurting that injury, that elbow.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times in Major League Baseball, these guys have that Tommy John, that ulnar nerves, that Tommy John. Think about it this way. Anytime you've hit your elbow on a corner of a table and you feel the tingling go down into your pinky and down into your hand, you don't have to be an athlete to have that sensation. That's the damage. That's the nerve that he had to deal with and try to regain the confidence back to be able to throw the ball the way he has to.
Couldn't throw for 4 months. Play clock was winding down on this third down play. Did they get a timeout called? Beck was being very methodical at the line. And they didn't. Did they spot it on the sideline?
Timeout.
They
Miami.
did. Just. So it'll still be 3rd and 6. Kane's just grinding away. The Gators have run 13 plays and gained 23 yards. In Miami trying to add to this 10-point lead before halftime. It actually feels a lot more than 10 points. It's on one side. It's only 10.
Yeah, it does feel a lot more than that. I think Miami, this is every time they get the football, I think it's them trying to think about not a knockout punch, but them trying to say, hey, we got these guys on the ropes. Let's take advantage of it when we have this momentum. And right now, it's almost like a sprint at the beginning of the race. Florida's still at the gate. Like they're still waiting to get going in this game. And thankfully for them, their defense is able to make a big stop the last time on that 15-play possession. Now they got them to another third down, see if they can get them off the field. Because this defense of Florida, just like last week in Baton Rouge, it's the defense that's kind of hanging around, letting this Florida Gator team, as the offense is sputtering, letting them at least compete for now.
They're in fringe field goal range because Davis can really boom it, but They need 5 to keep the drive going, and Beck across the middle, batted down again. Second time that a ball has been deflected at the line. That was one of the young freshmen stepping in, Jeremiah McLeod. So let's see what Cristobal decides to do. He figures maybe this punt him deep.
Yeah, well, we talked about what will Florida do with all these injuries, and that was a huge 3rd down and 5. You're trying to do everything you can to just stay in this game. And who would be a young guy that would step up? And in this case, it's McLeod, 91, getting his hand up, timing that perfectly.
They know that Beck loves to work the center of the field, especially on 3rd down. So Dylan Joyce, first appearance tonight for the Miami punter. VB3 at the 9 as Joyce tries to put this struggling Gator offense in poor field position. And I think in this case, they won't mind backing him up 5 and giving him more room to work with.
Delay of game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Cristobal at halftime, no doubt, if the score stays the same or gets bigger in his favor. We'll still talk about the mistakes and how it's not perfect and they didn't continue the momentum.
He's trained by the best. Rat poison. He was talking about it this morning. All these compliments. He's saying, no. I don't want to hear it.
Joyce kicks it high with backspin. Brown's going to field it to prevent that from bouncing down inside the 5. But the Gators still looking for a spark. Will begin from the 8, down 10. Berger out of this Gator front.
Yeah, especially the way this game started. This offensive line, you can see that, just pushing people around, winning the line of scrimmage. Defense doing such a good job of flying to the football. Gators nowhere to go, only 9 yards rushing. This is the thing that really stands out. These guys are flying around. They want to be violent. They want to be swarmed to the ball. We've seen a lot of that. And now they got Florida pinned back.
One play can change things if the Gators can find a spark. Boss had very little room to run. First couple plays of this game, he went backwards and stopped for a short gain by Toure.
I mean, Ball just has nowhere to go. You're talking about one of the more talented running backs in the SEC. He is a monster with his ability and size and burst. He's a 230-pound guy that can move around. We saw the speed last year against LSU. He went 75 yards, but he's got nowhere to go. They can't run the football.
Guy that scored 5 touchdowns against Kentucky. Tied Tebow's school record. He fake it to him. Lagway running for his life at the goal line and just slings it into the bench. Did not. Well, maybe there was the receiver, Livingston, in the area. Keontae Scott was bringing the heat.
Now that right tackle spot continues to be a concern. There's a whiff, and now it's a foot race. Look at Fort Bain. I mean, he's a monster, big size, 275 pounds, chasing down a quarterback like that. They brought pressure from the outside with a nickel Scott. So the reason they punted was exactly for this opportunity. Get him to 3rd down inside the 10-yard line. Try to create pressure. Try to create a turnover here with Lagway.
Lagway at the goal line just got the ball out. And it's going to be ruled incomplete. Mesidor, one of those guys you talked about, and Poyser on the safety pressure. No time.
Yeah, there's just nothing you can do. Poyser came off the edge, but it's just, whether it's Bain on one side, Mesidor on the other, pressure comes right there with 7. Confusion up front on the offensive line, so the Canes got exactly what they want, and they're going to get great field position here after that 3 and out.
Did just get the arm moving forward to avoid a fumble there. 3rd 3 and out in their 4 possessions, and that's not what they're hoping for from the punter. Off the side of Doman's foot, Canes are going to start in plus territory. Holly?
Well, guys, the WNBA playoffs roll on tomorrow with a pair of game ones in the best of 5 semifinals. Asia Wilson and the Aces host Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston and the Fever. Our first game's at 3 Eastern on ABC. And then Nafisa Collier, an MVP candidate, and the top-seeded Lynx host Alyssa Thomas and the Mercury. WNBA Countdown tips off our coverage, 2:30 on ABC and an all-new ESPN app. And I will be there.
You beat one of them, right?
Game. Yes, I'll be at the Lynx game.
Okay.
And it's so cool. Alyssa Thomas, she's coming off the first 20-point triple-double in WNBA history. So be sure to tune in. It's must-watch TV tomorrow, guys.
All right, Holly. 33-yard punt. That was it. So the Canes begin at the Florida 43, trying to add to this lead. Brown goes in motion. Beck as protection, just checks it down. Another low. He's throwing the ball low a lot tonight. It was Fletcher who couldn't make the play.
Again, good cover. The goal tonight was for Florida's defense, keep them in front. Just real quick about DJ Lagway. The thing that is disturbing if you're a Gators fan watching this offense is the lack of urgency, the lack of execution, the lack of fight, the lack of something to hang your hat on. It's just a team that just looks like they're just in a fog offensively right now. And I don't know how you get out of that. You keep asking me how the hell do you get out of it? I don't know. I mean, you got nobody that's competing on that offensive side of the ball.
Here's Beck, a design run. They mix this in a little bit against USF.
That guy's competing. McLeod's competing. Can he play offensive line? Can we move him over to the offensive line?
Young 300-pounder making plays in the middle there. You're right, the Gator defense, after being mauled in the opening possession when they gave up the touchdown, has kept the Canes out of the end zone. They're making them work for it. They got another 3rd and long here.
It's the 3rd week in a row, really all year. The Gator defense is doing what they can do. Even again, depleted on that defensive front. They're doing what they can do to try to hang in there against a really physical and talented Miami team.
Beck just 5 of 12. Just felt some pressure, but also just delivered some low passes. Steps up across the middle. This one's high and off the hands of C.J. Daniels. Veteran should have made that catch. And it's 4th down.
Now, Florida mixing up their looks here, but this time they were lost. Now, you'll see the linebacker right here. He's trying to get back in case there's a crosser, but he just gets lost, and that's a 1st down. It's very, very rare to see C.J. Daniels. He did a nice job of climbing there, puts it where Daniels can make that catch. I don't know if Daniels is thinking about where to go after he makes that reception, but right through his hands. So, once again, the Gators defense does their job and get it off the field.
Still a wet night, but not a mistake you expect Daniels to make. It's a little bit of a lifeline for the Gators. Once again, Canes send out Joyce to try to pin Florida back. Cristobal will not be happy with the offensive execution.
5-yard penalty.
No.
Really since the mid-first quarter, I don't think.
No, and he and Shannon Dawson told us, listen, it's going to be one of those nights against a very good defense. They're going to take away with 2 safeties back. They're not going to let us take our shots downfield. We've got to be able to run the ball, kind of dink and dunk and be patient because of the style of defense that they play. And I think they felt pretty confident they could move the line of scrimmage, especially with the injuries. They did it on the opening drive. And since then, we've not been able to see the same amount of...
High punt, bounces, and it eludes 2 coverage guys. Went right between them into the end zone for a touchback.
You know, I'm all for DJ Lagway having 5 weeks of practice since January and him trying to work out the kinks. I just want to see somebody on the offensive side of the ball get mad. Somebody get upset. Somebody kind of compete. Push somebody around. Get physical. I mean, your defense is giving you a chance to hang around in this game. Let's go.
I felt there was a lack of urgency. You watch the USF tape.
Right.
In a home game against a team that many thought they would bully.
Yep, the last 3 weeks, it's kind of been the same thing. You got to be able to win the line of scrimmage. You got to be able to run the ball. Or you got to get the pass game out, get the ball out of his hands quick.
Receivers don't have a catch tonight. They've rarely been targeted. And there's one. Incomplete. They tried to get the ball to Trey Wilson there. Diving attempt. So 1st down, downfield throw. Something they haven't done.
No, this is a pretty well designed play. Would have been a great effort and catch there by Wilson if he could have come down with that. But these windows against this Canes defense, they got eyes on the quarterback. They're tight. It's got to be perfect accuracy and execution if you're going to convert.
Quickly, both quarterbacks struggling with the pass game tonight. Lagway 3 of 8. There's a high percentage throw on the edge to Wilson, who picks up enough yardage before Teray gets him out to avoid another 3rd and very long.
There's been a lot of 3rd downs for Florida, and they're 0 for 5 so far in this game tonight.
Need 5 here.
Yeah, you've got the Miami pressure, 6 pressures on 9 dropbacks. See if they can dial it up again. They're bringing a lot of people up front, try to confuse this offensive line. Look at this. Who's coming? Who's dropping? Or are they all coming?
No, a lot of them are dropping, but Lagway, they unblocked, flying off is Jacoby Thomas on the safety blitz.
Well, Bryce Lovett, the big concern we had was the right tackle, really the whole offensive line against this front. But I just said, you saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. You knew some are going to come, some's going to drop. The right side is overloaded. Nobody to be able to help out. The back's on the left side of that offense. He can't come around to be able to chip. Just doesn't have the numbers.
Doman, another punt that's, I would say, on the ugly side. Kind of rolled dead at about the 37-yard line. Ends up being not bad on the stat sheet, 43 yards.
Well designed there. The way Miami's defense gets this offense to third down. And
this Hurricanes offensive huddle trying to find some juice. You see back Tony.
Yeah.
The drop by Daniels.
They've dominated. They're dominating.
Yeah.
They're only up 10-0. But Heatherman, real quick on the defense side, when he gets this offensive line of Florida's, by the way, there's a lot of experience up there. 4 guys returning from last year. Their heads are spinning on third down in obvious passing situations. The guy's a stud, that defensive coordinator.
Cristobal said he was a must-get after the interview. Brought that intensity, that look, and also delivered the message of the kind of defense he wanted to play. He mentioned it's a little bit risky sometimes. They're not always taking the most sound angle, right? They're just trying to get downfield, be violent.
I don't know, man. I feel like, at least tonight, I feel like they're playing with a great deal of speed and intensity, but playing pretty disciplined up at this point. And, it's easy to play with discipline on the back end when you're just dominating the line of scrimmage with what they have up front, especially on the edges.
Tony on the near side. Malachi Tony doesn't need much. Incredible acceleration, just an explosive athlete. Got a block there from Malinois on the edge there. First down to the 45, picked up 16.
Look, Chris, watch Thornton here, the safety. He actually anticipates this, does a good job. He just doesn't finish. He gave himself a chance because of the way he came up so quickly, and the Miami receiver really couldn't block him. He had a chance to make a play, but you got to be able to tackle in the open space.
Big CC Malinois. DB going, no. Hey, you don't want to see that fella shoving you backwards. The projected top 10 draft pick, preseason All-American. Handoff inside. They get Marty Brown just banging downhill inside the 35.
There's your guy CC on the backside. If we can show that. I mean, you want to talk about textbook. Theresa Mel Kiper and all the boys are going to be so excited about CC. Watch him. Watch 61 right in here. He's not done. He's going to keep going. 5 yards, 7 yards, 10 yards. He just keeps mauling people.
Roller skates.
Yeah, just pushing people around. 6'6", 315 pounds.
Comes from American Samoa. Played his football at IMG Academy in high school. In the flat. Catch made and getting the backs involved as receivers now. That's Brown. It's another first down. Miami trying to really put the Gators on the ropes here before halftime. They'll get the football, by the way, to start the second half.
It's getting a little physical out there on the edges. Malachi Tony, he is not just a fleet-footed true freshman. I love watching him when he doesn't get the football. I mean,
he loves to block.
That's what I'm saying. Look at him far right. Look at him far right with Denson. I mean, he's getting into his head a little bit. Denson almost got a 15-yard penalty for taking a swing there at the end of that play.
Fletcher wrestled down inside the 25. Miami has one timeout plus the 2-minute timeout to work with here.
One thing I'll say real quick.
Point lead.
Kane's thinking 2 for 1 to get the ball to start the second half. Gators better make a stop.
They flip it to the flat. Catch made by Lofton, the tight end. And they left him alone. He was hurt. He came back. Ran over Devin Moore's first and goal.
Great job of moving him here. And this side of the defense just gets lost. Eyes in the backfield, worried about the run game with Fletcher. Good job of squeezing them in with that play action look. And then get it out to Lofton, who they think is an absolute stud at tight end. 6'3", 230 out of Bishop Gorman out in Las Vegas. High school powerhouse.
He stays in the game. They'll no doubt go to a power formation here from the 6-yard line. Fletcher. Gators do a good job of gumming up the middle, and they'll push you back for a loss there.
That was a great play by Jamari Lyons. We talked about him earlier with all the injuries that they have up front. They've got to find guys that are willing or able to make plays. Good job of getting off the block, not giving up. This defense, just when you think the Gators are done, give up a big play, somebody steps up, comes up with a stop.
Napier took a timeout, Kirk. He spends the timeout here. He's got 2 left trying to get the football back, whatever the result of this sequence is.
Gators 25 yards offense still. You're talking about 4 players from Miami have over 25 yards. Just 4 players over 25 yards.
Minute 45 from Kevin Nagandi and Booger at the halftime studio. Guys?
Chris Ford, halftime report just minutes away, as you just mentioned, and defense, the storyline there for Miami. Defense, the big story for Oklahoma, a record-setting day. We're going to hear from Dabo Swinney, and that is a big storyline after a 1-3 stunning start. And this is a good sign if you were following South Carolina. Lenora Sellers in action.
No doubt. Went out last week with a concussion. He's back and doing Lenora Sellers things.
2 touchdowns, and right now they're up by 2 against Mizzou on the road over on ESPN. Back to you, Chris.
All right, 2nd and goal here for the Canes. Again, they try middle, and Fletcher nowhere to run, so rather vanilla play calls.
Yeah, but it's still, we brag so much on Miami's physicality and their offensive line, and we asked Shannon Dawson, you get into the red zone, what's the plan? Because this defense clearly they're going to give up some yards, but it's going to come down to the red zone, right? And he said, you know what we're going to do in the red zone? We're going to pound them. He said we're going to even put more emphasis on that. And twice these last 2 plays, we've seen the Gators' interior, which was supposed to be a concern with the injuries, back-to-back plays. They keep showing backbone, keep making good plays.
So it's 3rd and goal, ball outside the 5. This is important. If it's 13-0 at halftime, it's one thing. 17-0, 3 scores with the way the Gators have struggled. They have 25 total yards. So this play is rather important.
1 first down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Miami gets the ball to start the second half.
All true.
Yeah.
So this is important, not to be down 17. I'm selling the urgency. You want urgency. There's an urgency for this defense in this play.
The Gators have urgency on defense, not on offense.
Brown is the back in the pistol. Now shifts to the left. Malachi Toney near slot on the left side. And again.
Center again.
Another pre-snap penalty. That's one glaring problem tonight that they will want to clean up.
That's the 6th pre-snap penalty on the Canes offense.
5-yard penalty.
6.
3rd down.
I know what's going on with James Brockermeyer, that NFL career. I mean, he's a veteran guy. I've talked about his career at Alabama for 3 years, TCU.
In a home game, right? I mean, the Florida did move there. You know, you don't know what's going down in the defense line. They're yelling, move! You know, anything that might have caused that, but it definitely impacted Brockermeyer, who flinched again.
Beck steps up, and nobody there. Threw it off the back wall there, just a throwaway, and taking 3. So the Canes moved it 52 yards in 9 plays.
Well, you had
stall.
6 defenders with 4 receivers. Good tight coverage, just nowhere to go with the football. He has to throw it away, and we keep saying it. I don't know how they're doing it, but you got to tip your cap. The Gators defense for the last few weeks, really all year, making plays, and they stepped up once again on those last 3 plays to force this field goal.
They will have some time to work with before halftime. And one timeout, Carter Davis, I'm just thinking, bangs it through. It's 13-0. If they want to, they've got some time to work with here.
All right.
That was why they took the timeout. You understand, Coach?
Under normal circumstances, I would agree with you, but if 4
No, when the head coach steps up and says, we're a really good team, and we're just a dozen plays away from being undefeated, it's a positive spin. You're trying to give your guys a boost.
But you know what, Chris, I think it's a talented football team. I just think that you have 4 offensive linemen that returned from last year, and you got DJ Lagway, who's trying to kind of work the kinks out. You got some pretty good skill at receiver, a really talented running back. And yet, last week, The turnovers were a big story. Self-destructing has been a big story. And even tonight, it's really not just, let's not point just to DJ Lagway. It's the fact that they can't run the football. You're putting Lagway and this offense into predictable play calling. They're getting whipped up front. And this is Miami. They're going to do this to a lot of people, especially when you get into these third downs and it becomes obvious. They're going to dial things up. They've done a heck of a job with Corey Heatherman, the defensive coordinator, getting this Florida Gator defense to third down and then mixing up the looks and creating a lot of communication issues with that offensive line. So combination of really bad Florida offense with really good Miami defense.
You see what they can produce in the first play, but they hope it was going to be a drive. Pitch to the edge. And Bob.
That's a run play, really. I mean,
moving around there, tries to make 4 guys miss.
Can't run the ball, try to get the big fella out in space. He makes a couple guys miss, at least able to get some positive yards, right?
Playing with some tempo.
Tempo, but not like breakneck tempo. If they get a first down, you might see him go a lot faster.
Pass rush closes in. That's an off-target throw. Hayden Hansen, the tight end, it was a big part of this offense the first 3 weeks, had 13 catches. Couldn't corral that.
Austin Barber, the left tackle, had the unfortunate one-on-one matchup with Ruben Bain. They only rushed 4. They're trying to prevent anything downfield. They rely on their front 4 to get home because they can.
Still looking for that first third down conversion. If they don't get it, the Canes would have some time to work with.
Just for fun, watch this guy here on this third down.
And whistle and a false start. So this just got harder on third down against that pass rush you were going to highlight. I mean, they killed the game.
On the offense, number 53, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Against Notre Dame, after the long field goal, with a 4-man rush, they just shut down C.J. Carr to win the game at the end.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing. That not everybody has that, right? I mean, you can bring pressure. There's Ruben Bain. He's got these tackles just gun shy. They are terrified of the speed and power of Bain and Mesidor on both edges of this defense. And then when they get you here, Marcus Lightfoot comes in, number 12, to bring in a guy that's super twitchy and got speed. He's right here now.
You pointed that out. They got a lot of pieces on this defensive front, different kind of guys. Lightfoot got right near Lagway, who had to check it down the ball. And again, this is swarm. The violent swarm. Bain was over there in the perimeter. And he stopped way short of the first down, and the clock stops with 51 seconds.
And again, you're able to rush 4. That's just 4 pass rushers. And you might say, well, he didn't get home, but you know what he made him do? He's got to get rid of the ball. Just because of the perception of that speed and the way that pocket can close, how much do you love to see Bain, who sets the tone, by the way, they say in practice every day, not just on Saturday, but every day the hardest worker they have on defense is able to run that one down.
Doman has been way too busy tonight. Punts it to Tony, who makes the fair catch at the 25.
By the way,
just about one timeout to work with.
We talked about they're going to go fast, they're going to try to score, and I said, you better be careful. There's Michael Urban talking to Bain. I'm sure he approves of that effort that he's playing with. They went out of bounds there. So Miami didn't even have to use their timeout. Now you got 43 seconds. Haven't really attacked much downfield. I think you're going to see that now here to try to get into field goal range. But like I said, I thought Florida might, the way this half has gone, just maybe work the clock and get the hell out of here. But instead, they tried to make something happen. You got 43 seconds. And
if you're Dawson, what do you have to lose by taking a shot? You can get a PI. You can, good things could happen.
Well, if they play split safeties, then you got to be able to try to attack the middle of the field with 10. Shoot him right down in between the safeties if they split. They still have the timeout because the third down play went out of bounds. That's a big opportunity for them.
Back a lot of freedom to the line of scrimmage. Makes a lot of checks, changes plays. May have changed that to a run. And they blow the whistle. Not signaling yet for a timeout.
No.
May be it for the first half.
I guess they're content. Again, I cannot say enough about how impressed I think anybody should be watching the Gators defense. To think as a defensive player, you're not getting anything from your offense. And you not only have to deal with Carson Beck and company, you're dealing with, are our guys ever going to score? And the psychology of that, and just keep coming up and making plays. They kept them in this game. As bad as that was, they're in this game at 13-0. Needed to on third down.
Canes right down the field in the opening possession. After that, just a pair of field goals by Davis. 1 yard deep. Marion going to bring it out. Eludes one tackler and fights hard, but cannot get the perimeter. Knocked out short of the 20. Our playbook brought to you by Modelo.
Well, the pony package has been there a little bit more than maybe we expected. It's where you can get both your running backs back there. Nice job of leading the way there by Brown and that offensive line. And there were times when it just looked like, boy, they're just going to maul Florida up front. Look at that play right there. That was early in the game. And they're trying to get Fletcher loose, trying to get him out in space, averaging about 5 yards a carry in this first half. And the Gators, again, to their credit, have made the stops to keep them in this game at 13. But I think they're going to get some of that same kind of feel from Miami where they want to try to test them up front.
They pull the ball. It's a first down throw on the edge. Loft in the tight end. Involved 3 times tonight. Good blocking in the perimeter by Joshua Moore. Pick up 13.
Yeah, good condensed formation to be able to bring the defense in, and then just a quick pass. They were able to get to the edge, and here comes the tempo they talked about maybe sprinkling in.
Gators barely lined up for this play. Fletcher knocked down after another solid gain on first down. Holly, what do you have?
Well, Billy Napier said this is an essential moment in the football game. They're down only by 13 points, but there's a huge disparity in time of possession and number of plays run. He said, we just haven't been able to get off the field on third down. They're going on these long extended drives, and that's hurting our team. We're backed up every time we get the ball. We've also got to eliminate some pressure on DJ Lagway. They said some running backs have missed protections. They've all got to be on the same page.
Fletcher on a second down run. Falls forward just short of the marker. Yeah, all 13-point deficits are not equal.
No.
And a shootout is one thing.
Yeah.
When you've shown the ability to make explosive plays tonight, not so much. We're trying to get a stop here right away.
Yeah, when you have one first down in the game, it's every possession for this defense matters to try to keep them in the game. Canes 5 of 9 on those third downs in the first half.
Really efficient early in that department, not so much in the second quarter. We'll try the middle, move the pile, and Fletcher gets the first down. Yeah, worst case scenario for Miami to go on another long drive like they did to begin this football game.
Yeah, a lot of that was power running and just quick throws. Gators are going to continue to keep their safeties back. They want Miami to have to force Miami to have to drive the length of the field. They don't want to give up explosives. It worked pretty well for them in that first half, only giving up the 13 points.
Longest pass play for Miami was a flare pass to Brown, who picked up 22. That time, they swarmed the line, and Fletcher's going to be hit for a loss behind the sticks on first down for once. He loses 2.
Well, they do a good job here of setting the edge on this defense on the outside there. Really, really good, sound defense. Not just physicality in the middle, which we wondered with Banks out. You know, you have 3 defensive linemen up front out. How will they hold up? And they've held up pretty well. Billy Napier telling us this week, even though we have those injuries, we have confidence, we've got depth, and they've shown it.
They dial up some pressure on 2nd and 11. Beck gets the ball out far side. Catch made by Keelan Marion, who's driven out near midfield by Dijon Johnson. So another third down coming up for the Canes. They'll need 4.
Yeah, good job of recognizing Marion, who has really good speed. Probably one of the fastest Canes they have on his team. He usually can go by defenders. He had a nice cushion there. Good job of recognizing that by Beck. Pre-snap against the pressure. Just got the ball out there quickly and gives them a chance here. Much more manageable 3rd and 4.
Pressure again picked up. Short throw. And Malachi Toney spun free. It's really close to the marker at the 47. Dijon Johnson got him down after he did spin free. Couldn't quite get his traction. Looks like he's going to be just short
It looks like what a good play, but now Johnson is down. Right away, grabbed that right leg. Yeah, he's short there. There's Graham trying to make the play. There's a true freshman. Tony's fighting for every yard. And then there's 27 coming in there at the end. And as soon as he got up to celebrate making that tackle.
Be half the length of a football on fourth down. Smash forward and get it easily with Marty Brown. Oh, they blew the whistle. He came out of the pack. The crowd's going nuts like it's a touchdown. They blew the whistle. An offensive lineman helmet got taken off. I'm not sure that's why.
Well, I think they stopped his forward progress. That's why the whistle came out, but he never went down. You know, this Miami team, whether it's the offensive line or the running backs, boy, they pride themselves on just never giving up. They keep pushing. They keep grinding. The offensive linemen aren't going to give up.
So here for the whistle here. Ooh, I don't know, man. I don't know if the forward progress, by the standards of tonight, where they've been pushing the pile, Bill,
that whistle came in late, right?
He came through there pretty clean. The whistle for forward progress, I think he'd want that back.
He never really stopped.
No, the crowd's grumbling. Beck's looking for quiet here. They do keep the drive alive with the Gator 45, but Bill Lake Brown deserved to be given a touchdown there. On the edge, that's off the hands of Lofton, the tight end. Incomplete. They just haven't clicked it. Even in the short passing game hasn't been easy tonight.
No, obviously haven't seen a lot downfield. Gators defensive line trying to rotate bodies, stay fresh to be able to defend the run and also be able to continue to pressure Carson Beck. Not been a real strength of theirs all year. You mentioned earlier just 2 sacks on the year coming in. They have had one tonight with a coverage sack. Castell and Thornton still back there protecting against deep shots.
Quick out, 2nd and 10 on the perimeter, trying to work his way back is C.J. Daniels. Hasn't really made a big impact yet tonight. Had the drop earlier on the 3rd down pass. Sets up another 3rd down here.
You know, whether it's the NFL or college football, you're seeing more and more defenses have this approach, which is to put 2 safeties back, not give up the big play, make offenses have to drive the length of the field and be consistent with their execution without penalties, without being able to convert on,
Mel Kiper went crazy about that, didn't he?
Yeah. And what it does, it makes you run the ball and dink and dunk underneath and yards after the catch, and ultimately it comes down usually to the red zone.
Beck has plenty of time down the middle, incomplete, over the head of Daniels and then short of Malachi Toney. Carson, I think, would be the first to tell you this has not been his best night. Not throwing the ball like he expects to, regardless of what the defense is trying to do, eliminating big plays.
Yeah, and what he's doing is he's got his eyes here on 14, Castell, and watch him do a good job. He's being threatened here, but does a good job of not necessarily taking that bait, and then is able to come up and affect maybe the vision there and the potential accuracy of Carson Beck, because I think he felt that safety starting to drive down to his receiver. The passing game has not been pretty tonight for the Canes.
Not at all. They've owned field position, and once again, Joyce trying to pin them deep, and did it get in the end zone? Coverage man was standing in the end zone. Did the ball break the play? Dylan Day is the gunner. They're talking about it here. And now they're going to say touchback. So the Canes a couple times have had the punt bounce short of the end zone, but they haven't been able to execute that piece. So the Gators will start from the 20. That did break the plane. By a bolt of lightning, and they built the Seminole War Canoe trophy out of it. Out that build-up, we didn't get to see it. We'll show it to you. Ironic that the trophy in this game is called the Seminole War.
It is.
Jackson on the edge.
Hey, here they go.
Explosive run play, dodging tacklers. Jacoby Jackson still going. And the Gators have life after all, out across the 46.
Hey, there you go. Instead of running inside, they bounced it to the outside, used the motion there by the tight end, Tony Livingston, to get an extra hat right there. And now they just do a good job of being able to pick up some perimeter blocks. And how about the run? There's what we're talking about. A little bit of effort, a little bit of excitement. And it's Jacoby Jackson that brings it there on that nice run once he got to that second level.
Had as many yards in that play as they had in the first half of total offense. Feed it to him again. Falls forward for about 3 before Toure grabbed him. Will that be a spark they can build on?
Well, you get the big play to the outside, and then you put a little bit of a dent there on the left to be able to open up at least some positive yards. That first half, they didn't have any runs like that. Every time they ran the football, the backs were hitting the backfield. So any kind of positive yards on the ground is something new for the Gators.
But that was their longest run of the season so far, 27 yards. Baugh back in the game. They fake it to him, pitch it to the edge. And Vernell Brown, the third, will get assisted by his lineman. Got a show forward at the end of the play. Pick up 10 more, first down at the Miami 40.
Clearly adjustment by Billy Napier and his staff is, guys, we cannot continue to bang our heads into the middle of this defense. We're overmatched with this defensive front. Let's get the ball out on the perimeter. Saw a nice job of that first play, come back on the third play, get the ball, flip it to the outside once again, try to get out in space.
There's some Gator fans here. They've been quiet all night, making noise now.
Again.
Makes a cut. All of a sudden, they're opening some creases in that Hurricane front pickup. About 5.5 on first down.
Hey, if you can't take care of Ruben Bain and Mesidor on the edge, even Moten on the inside and Blay, get the ball to the outside and let Hayden Hansen, who's 6'7.5", 270-pound tight end, 89, and Tony Livingston, another big tight end at 265 pounds. Let those guys work the edges and run the ball out in the perimeter.
Team that had 1 first down in the first half, putting together a nice-looking drive here and beginning to gash the Miami front. Sense of their own medicine here. 11 more to the 23.
Well, watch. Everything's been going out here, right? So watch now. Now you got the defense worried about going to the outside. Now you give the offensive linemen some blocking angles there to be able to get leverage on that defensive front they've been struggling against. So good combination of getting the ball to out to the perimeter and then also coming back to the inside there in this run game.
Ball again. Chased down by Bain, but another solid first down gain. Had nothing like this in the entire first half.
Now this offensive line, it was, I don't know how Billy Napier challenged them, but he clearly did. He and his staff, they've come out and looked like a very different team. This is what you're talking about. Maybe the defense came over and said, guys, let's go, man. Let's start competing. They sure have responded here this opening drive.
That time, Jackson tests the middle for a short gain. Raul Aguirre makes the stop, and now Florida with a third down here. Such a huge difference, 3 or 7 on this possession, both on the scoreboard and in terms of trying to reset the narrative here.
Yeah, haven't converted yet on a third down tonight. Got to wonder with the success of this drive, they've had more urgency. They feel like the first time they fit Miami a little bit on their heels.
See if they dare to throw the ball and try to block that pass rush. Nope, they're going to feed the middle. Jackson stopped a couple yards short. Bain made the tackle. Maybe that's a call designed to set up this fourth down play. They need 2.
That's what I was thinking. It's 4 down territory because of all this positive energy. It's a huge play here. All this, what they've been able to kind of build some confidence on, could all go away if you get stopped here on 4th and short.
Not an offense to the first 3 games. It's been good in these situations. Very poor, actually, on 3rd down and 4th down and short.
Play, they're going to call timeout. It didn't look like it was super organized. I think Billy Napier wanted to actually Even about 20 seconds left, he was letting that clock work down. This is too big a play. They'll probably talk it over and decide whether they want to settle for the 3 points or end up going for this to be able to try to keep this drive alive.
There's a chance they might choose to go for 3. We'll all find out together when you come back.
Tough against this Miami front.
Baugh is the back. Kane student section trying to make it tough. Lagway tries to get the edge and the keeper stretches, and it is a first down. They'll spot him just enough.
They motion Eugene Wilson away. Now you're just counting on that +1 with a quarterback. Follow ball. Good job of sealing to the inside there. That was Sturdivant, the receiver. Big offensive lineman, Damian George, but a great call to get away from all that talent on that defensive front and outflank him and use the speed there of the quarterback.
Yeah, his legs got cut out, but Lagway able to reach that football just to the 12-yard line. Fresh set, running all the way. Lagway up the middle, lowers his head, and gets to about the 6.
Boy, what a collision there. That was a big collision with Poyser, the safety that came up. He took the tough end of it. He's trying to come up to be physical, be violent, but boy, big hit. That's a big man you're trying to tackle at about 245 pounds.
Poyser was a freshman All-American last year, out of the game on this second down play.
And they've been working the edges this entire drive, running the football, including QB run.
Trying to break free is Baugh. Stiff arm, leans, and scores. Florida on the board and very much alive late third quarter.
What a drive here by the Gators. They went in, made the adjustments. Give Billy Napier a lot of credit. This offense could not have looked any worse in that first half. Lethargic. And they come out, feel challenged. Their defense kept them in the game. First half, they had 32 yards of offense. And here, 80 yards on this drive alone. Different team here.
11 plays. They get the quarterback involved in the run game, converting on fourth down. And all of a sudden, as Smack steps in, this is a 6-point football game. The AT&T connected clicker shows you the score.
Let's take a look at this. Remember, they've been working the edges. This time they're going into the interior, following the big tight end, Hayden Hansen. Once he gets to the inside, it looks too like, keep in mind, this guy's 230 pounds, making that move and then having that speed and then the stiff arm to take it into the end zone. You saw it all there in Ball. Kept the play alive, spin move, athleticism, changes the ball for that stiff arm, and then the ability to find the corner, get in the end zone. The Gators have some life here in the third quarter.
Talked about complimentary football. The defense, yeoman effort to keep this close after a very, very lopsided, statistically, first half. Now the offense responds.
Yeah, look at this. There's energy. It's the first time we've seen energy in 2 weeks from the Gators offense. Well, if I'm a Florida Gator fan, this is what I want to see, right? That we know about the defense despite the injuries. They can keep you around, but it's going to be up to this Gators offense. And I love to see Ball, love to see the quarterback working down there. And we're talking to the offensive lineman, and that's some confidence that they just gained on that drive.
10 of 11 plays in the drive on the ground, just 10 yards passing of the 80. Check in with Kevin in the studio.
Chris, time now for our Chick-fil-A move on the field over on ESPN. A good one between Missouri and South Carolina. Jamal Roberts giving the Tigers the lead right here. And they would get the 2-point conversion, 26-20. But now South Carolina just scored, so we're tied up with 6 minutes to go at 26 apiece. Meanwhile, over on ESPN Plus, number 8 Texas, Arch Manning, 5 total touchdowns, 45-0 over Sam Houston right now in the third quarter. Back to you guys.
Good one in Columbia. We'll keep you posted. Now the Canes suddenly in a fight here. Up only 6. Trying to get their offense reignited. Beck looking to throw on first down. Steps up, heaves it downfield, and it's intercepted. He threw it to Cormani McClain, the Colorado transfer. First takeaway tonight for Florida. Momentum hugely shifting now.
This is the beauty of playing zone and being able to sit back and keep your eyes on a quarterback. He's out here, and watch him just kind of almost bait back to make this throw. He's waiting, comes off the receiver that he had, able to come all the way over with that ball hanging in the air. But that's just a great job there of having awareness, coming off that first receiver, and then being able to step in front. Look at the long arms, able to reach in front of Daniels. And that is a heck of a fingertip interception. And the Gators now got all the momentum. And the Gators defense, they've been keeping them alive, keeping them in the game. And now they're within 6 and got the ball back to DJ Lagway.
Back checking the replay. That ball did hang in the air, kind of threw it on the move. Allowed McClain to get over there. Gators now from the 48. A chance to score and take the lead unbelievably here. Baugh busting through tackles, getting some help up front, now running with more purpose. Thomas stopped him, but he picked up about 6.
Boy, another good push. You go back to back. Remember the game last year when he was at Georgia against this Gators defense. Had a rough day. Different team, different set of circumstances, but he did throw 3 picks in that cocktail party last year. And the Gators come up with this big turnover. What's going on with this offensive line? No push at all in the first half. And boy, they look good right now.
Lagway misfires. It's been tough to find Hayden Hansen, the big tight end. He's a huge target, but that was way off target.
Just, I know he feels that blitz, just doesn't look really settled. The rhythm, watch his feet, just kind of falling off of it, not feeling really good. I think he felt that pressure, and maybe that blitz got right into his face and made him hurry, but didn't get his feet underneath him, and the ball's erratic. Big third down.
2 for 2 on 4th. Still haven't converted on 3rd tonight. Jackson is the back.
They've been working out here in the last drive.
Jackson middle. Not going to get there. He's going to be stopped about 3 yards short of the marker at the 45. David Blay, big fella inside, made the stop along with Mesidor.
Damian George, the right guard, he's going to have to come off the field on this 4th down if they go for it. That's a big deal.
Helmet came off, yeah.
Yeah, helmet came off. He has to go off the field, and we got another 4th down decision here for the Gators. This falls near midfield. This is a totally different decision in the last 4th down deep in Kane's territory. Do they run the quarterback again?
Looking to throw on a slant. Caught. 1st down. Grabbing it. J. Michael Sturdivant, who took a big blow from Besaint.
Well, there was a blitz, and DJ Lagway felt it. I think at first he looked outside like he wanted to go to Brown, but with this blitz, it gives him a nice opening. The ball's got to get out in a hurry because of he's going to get squeezed with that leverage, but he got it in there over top of the blitz, and then he takes a big hit from behind there from the linebacker.
Still being attended to by the athletic training staff for Florida. So 3 for 3 on 4th down, and the Gators unbelievably still in play in this possession to take the lead.
Great job by Sturdivant, kind of feeling that blitz, sitting down right where he needed to, and then taking that big hit by Besaint from the back and hitting him and holding on to that football.
Guy most known really for his straight line speed.
Yeah.
Ability to make plays down the field, but a very tough catch. They're going to take him, it looks like, right to the locker room. They're walking him toward the tunnel.
Aiden Mizell, 11, will probably have to step up and make it a good receiver. He'll have to step in there, take more reps.
Never thought I'd ask this question this soon, Kirk, but what does the Miami defense now have to do to readjust to what the Gators are throwing at them?
Well, the line of scrimmage has been their friend every series, with the exception of the last and the beginning of this series. They're going to have to get back. They're trying to mix up the looks, trying to become a little bit more aggressive with blitzes. They didn't have to do much blitzing at all, but they got to do something right now to try to get back to getting this Florida offense into those 3rd and longs, winning on 1st and 2nd down, which they did every single series in that first half.
Baugh spins through traffic, fights hard, picks up about 4 on first down.
One of the adjustments I think you're seeing, besides the running of the perimeter and also back to the inside, kind of mixing that, you're getting a little bit more 12 personnel, which we didn't see a ton of in the first half. Hayden Hansen and Tony Livingston. Mentioned the size of both those tight ends, 275 pounds. They've done a good job here on these last couple drives.
Legway straight back, feels some pressure, and they rip the football, try to get it. Mesidor knocks him down. It's a Kane sack back at the 45.
I was with you, Chris. I was surprised he held on to that football. Mesidor is such a handful. We talk so frequently about Ruben Bain, but Mesidor, 6'3", 280, just blows the left tackle up. Watch him work from the left side. He has a tight end initial chip, then he just does a bull rush right into the backside of the quarterback, and now he got him back, we just talked about, to 3rd and long for Lagway.
Third sack by this Miami defense. They pressured the quarterback a bunch tonight. Quick pitch to the perimeter. Brown weaves his way for a nice gain, so they want to go for it again on 4th down. They got a shot here inside the 35 now.
3rd and 15. There's really no need to have to try to pick up all 15 yards. They had that 4th down. Well, they're actually bringing the punting unit out, a field goal unit out to be able to get to 3 points. And with that quick throw, it gave him the decision to either trust your field goal kicker or maybe potentially go for it on 4th down, but it looks like they're going to kick.
Yeah, that'll happen in the 4th quarter.
At 6, walked up.
Brown's in the backfield to the left of the quarterback. He goes out in a short pass. Again, they squeeze a little pass in. Wait a minute, though. I don't think he got it. They're spotting it short. T.J. Abrams made the catch, did not make the 30. It's going to depend on the spot. Going to be real close.
He did not run the route long enough. Canes do a heck of a job of keeping him short. He's got to run this route to deeper depth. You're going to get hit as soon as you make that catch.
Yeah, that looks short. Marquise Lightfoot, the guy you've been praising, made the play there.
Yeah, exactly right. And he's usually rushing the quarterback. What an effort there to keep him short. But if you're going to coach that up, T.J. Abrams, love to see him extend that by about another yard and a half. So you get hit, it's a 1st down right at the catch.
Here come the sticks. This would be a heartbreaker for the Gators. They come up that short, and Miami takes over early going in the 4th quarter, sitting on that 6-point lead. The first time they failed on 4 4th down attempts tonight.
There are 2 things. Just getting a little bit more depth there for Abrams, and then Lightfoot, who again is a versatile player. He usually rushes the quarterback. Did a great job in his drop of knowing exactly where that 1st down marker was. So when the catch was made in front of him, he knew where he had to go to make that tackle to keep him short.
Miami's offense, meanwhile, Kirk, has gone very stale. And Beck, coming off that downfield interception in their last offensive play, will try to reclaim some of the crispness we saw earlier, some of the dominance up front. They fake it to Fletcher, pitch to the edge, and nowhere to run for C.J. Daniels. He's going to be stopped behind the sticks. Bryce Thornton came up and made the play.
That's a run-pass option, and he must have felt that he had enough space to the outside, but the Gators had a 2-for-1 out there. So when the ball was thrown, not to mention it was thrown behind Daniels, where he had to adjust to the football. See him adjust back. Now you got no chance. And that swarming Gator defense, we've seen that all night. Nice play by Bryce Thornton. Poor decision, in my opinion, there by Beck.
There's a lot of freedom to make those calls. Pitch on the edge again in heavy traffic. Daniels, not much room. And it's going to be 3rd down and 9.
Because the ball has not gone downfield through the air much from Miami, what you're seeing is that second level of this defense from Florida. They're playing downhill, almost expecting those quick throws, the short intermediate throws. So they're flying downhill, making it tough on Beck. At some point, I'd like to see him try to still stretch this defense. They haven't done much of it at all.
2-by-2 look in this 3rd and 9 play. Gators bring an extra rusher back. throws the ball away just to avoid the sack. Miles Graham has been their top tackler so far this season, brought the heat, and the Gator defense does their job again.
Yeah, Chris, you're right. A good blitz up front. He's actually almost setting a pick to allow the real pass rusher there, Cameron James, to be able to get home and affect them. They both end up ultimately getting there to be able to affect Carson Beck, but a great call there by this defensive staff led by Ron Roberts there on that third down, confusing the offensive line of Miami.
Been a very tough night for the Hurricanes pass game execution. Couldn't come through there. And this is a very low line drive punt. Did actually okay, kept it away from Brown. And it's going to touch dead at the 18-yard line. So a 50-yard punt. Well done by Dylan Joyce. But the Gators back to work, just down 6. Gators test the middle. Decent gain for Baugh on first down.
I mean, if you're just tuning into this game, you're seeing 13-7 in the fourth quarter. When was the last time you saw two powerhouse programs in 2025 at a 13-7 game? Rivalry game. We thought in the first 2 or 3 series, the Gators could be blown out of here. Their defense kept them in it. And then the adjustments by this offense of Billy Napier, they've come out looking like a different team as far as their execution's been in the second half.
Baugh off to the left side. Going to be knocked down short of the marker by the Saint. There wasn't exactly a shootout in Baton Rouge. It was a pick 6.
Yeah.
It was big in that game, but a 20-10 LSU victory over this Florida team.
Yeah, Florida is a team until they find themselves offensively and get their rhythm going with DJ Lagway. They're kind of a team that wants to just kind of make the game as ugly as it can be, rely on their defense, and try to get to the fourth quarter and find a way to win it.
Baugh again. It's knocked down. It's going to be fourth down again. One too many times. They tried the middle there. Jacoby Thomas filled from the safety. Napier with a decision, and here comes the punt team.
Yeah, this is a slow developing play. Perfectly timed right here with the blitz. They just overload. Too many people to block. Nothing you can really do as an offensive line. Surprised they worked the interior instead of getting out on the edge of that Canes defense.
You see disappointment on Napier's face, but now with the way his defense is playing, you can feel better about punting this away. That ball bouncing around. There's a flag down. They ran into Tony. It looks like the returner there. Javion Toombs is the Gator, number 37, who's down there in coverage.
Oh,
definitely interfered with Tony.
Yeah, he's working down as a gunner. He got pushed in the back. That's probably that's probably what they saw.
Miami's ball at this spot.
Good spot. So no penalty, and Miami, after the 53-yard punt, will take over. They're still talking about where to spot it. And Beck get this offense going again. Offense has run 15 plays for 43 yards in the second half. Mauling people up front. Fletcher and Brown just running behind Wally Humanity. It's been much harder really since midway second quarter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and again, we talked a lot about how they somewhat depleted with some of the injuries, but these backups and getting down to some freshmen on the defensive line have had to stand up, and they've done that. Canes just trying to find something here. They're trying to get a little rhythm going, something we've not seen at all. They're sticking to their guns, sticking to that running game, quick pass game. Carson Beck having a tough night against this Gator D.
There's 3 first downs in the third quarter. Beck had that interception, looking to throw on second down, and checks it down. Reaching back and making the catch was Marty Brown. Not an on-target throw. Excellent play by the running back to get this drive up and going.
Now it's man-to-man, and they end up bringing a blitz. When the blitz comes here, there's nobody to be able to pick up the back who ends up leaking out. once he's able to catch that football, he has all that space because most of the defense has their back turned in man coverage.
Yeah, the catch was the whole thing, but Beck made it tricky for him.
He did.
Made him reach out with one hand to grab it. Again, that pony two-back look on first down. Plowing up the middle is Brown. Kind of a back to the kind of line of scrimmage movement they got early in the game.
Yeah, Shannon Dawson told us yesterday, he said the style of defense that Ron Roberts is going to play in this game, he's going to test our patience. We feel confident we can run the football. It's going to be tough to get the ball downfield with the style of defense they play. They want to keep it in front, and we have to be willing to body blow them and run the ball and work the clock and dink and dunk. And they've not, like I said, not been able to get it downfield, so they keep running and quick throws.
On the edge again, Brown. Stiff arm, hard to tackle once he gets a couple steps downfield. Castell forces him out near midfield. 3rd and 1 coming up.
Yeah, between Fletcher and Brown, that combination, being able to keep those guys fresh. And when Lyle gets 100% healthy, he's got an ankle. You got 3 really talented running backs.
Haven't seen Lyle tonight. He warmed up actually last week. Could have played, they said. Didn't. Hasn't had a snap tonight. It's about 1.5 yards. First down's right at midfield. Brown bangs forward, tests the left side. Canes beginning to reestablish, but they got going early tonight. 6 more there.
Great job by Matthew McCoy right here. Nice block. Also, you see the left tackle, 70 Bell. Just doing a good job of putting their backside to the hole, letting that left side open it up on that 3rd and short. Gators trying to rotate now, get some new bodies on the field. I mean, it's just a true battle in the trenches, battle of survival. Even you can see even Marty Brown getting fatigued.
Lost his helmet. He comes out. He and Fletcher have been a very, very solid 1-2 punch. Each guy averaging about 4.5 per carry tonight. First down throw. Slipping out there is Elijah Lofton, the tight end, has made some key contributions tonight. Picks up 9 there. 4th catch.
Yeah, they brought the blitz from Hayward, the nickel on that side. Great adjustment, good awareness, be able to get that ball out quickly for big yards on 1st and 10.
Now some tempo from the Canes. Fletcher falls forward again, picks up a couple. Devin Moore chopped him down.
6-point game. Even in field goal range, you get a field goal, you make it a 2-possession game, under 8 minutes to go. So Miami, number 1, not in a hurry. Number 2, at the very least, want to be able to work, continue to try to help the kicker, even though he's already in his range. But 3 points could be devastating to Florida's cause here.
Some Miami fans will groan when they hear you say that. It's absolutely right. But they do believe the Canes get a little conservative in these situations. Fletcher bangs through, though, and that's the first down carry as they get down near the red zone.
A counter play, so the right side does their job of working down, and then it frees it up for the left side to be able to come around. These are big bodies. They need some space. He actually ends up blowing up his own tight end, Alex Bowman. But that one opened up. And with the rotation of Fletcher and Brown, as everybody else starts to get a little bit fatigued in his 4th quarter, those guys are able to stay fresh.
Fletcher again, just driving those legs, moving people backwards. Another big, solid chunk on first down.
Yeah, continue to work the clock. Veteran quarterback like Carson Beck obviously is aware it's a 6-point game, how big of a possession this is for him, and not only thinking about points, but being smart with not being in a hurry. It seems like last 3 or 4 or 5 snaps, he's snapping it under 10 seconds, just trying to milk that clock down.
This Gator front, we talked about how shorthanded they are. Body shots early. I thought they had a real surge in energy, played much better, but now Kirk maybe beginning to wear down. Back in the game. Has the football. Marty Brown dragging people. This looks like the drive that opened the game. They got a 1st and goal at the 6.
Yeah, you're right about that. Inez Cooper, the right guard, able to get up to the linebacker, which freed him up. Like I said, boy, he's got fresh legs. Fletcher's carried it 20 times. Brown now's carried it 14 times. Both averaging close to 5 yards a carry.
Another carry. Shamar's his name. Everybody calls him Marty. Man from Omaha, Nebraska. Came here from the great program of North Dakota State, our friends the Bison. He has a championship ring there. They won it last year.
That's right.
He brings a work ethic and a hunger. Part of a deep running back stable. Ball just shy of the 3. 1 second and goal. Brown again, leaning, getting closer, but not quite. They'll stop him at the 1. It's a slow bleed out, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is the best case scenario for Miami if they can score a touchdown here and use up all this clock.
Yeah, relying on the strength of the team, the offensive line and these backs. Gator player down, 90 bet.
Well, the last thing they need, Kirk, is another member of that defensive front to suffer an injury. Pretty yeoman effort by those guys, Bet included, who've stepped in. Looking at that right leg near the knee. It's violent down there in the pit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Big bodies everywhere.
Yeah, he gets rolled up on. See him right in the middle, right there. Yeah, right where the ball carrier, Brown, went down. You know, Miami, it's an interesting style with their offensive line. They kind of create a wall, and then they just start chopping their legs, and as a unit, they just kind of push like a surge forward.
This is not what Michael Irvin thinks of when he thinks of the highlight reel, but he's seeing a lot of tough physical running tonight.
Yeah, he wants to see his team just put another marker on that left column, get a win.
He appreciates the way these receivers have blocked. They've done a lot more blocking than catching tonight as a receiving corps.
You think he'll lead the boys out in 2 weeks in Tallahassee? There's Bet.
Brings some security up there for that rivalry game.
Yeah.
Michael's still rocked up.
No doubt.
He wants to throw a block on the end.
No doubt.
So it's third down here.
He wants them to finish it off, man. Finish it.
Yeah, if they don't get it, the sensible play, the logical play would be to kick the chip shot field goal here, go up 2 scores. Aloy Fatuli, the offensive lineman who puts 46 on. This is similar situation when they scored the touchdown early in the game. And now the Gators will try to get a little more rest. It's interesting. He's spending a timeout on defense here. You could really need those on offense, whatever happens here.
I think the key play, the game at this point, Chris, with the second half, the way it's gone back and forth, they went for it a number of times on fourth down. This was a big chance for Florida to keep a drive alive, and receiver unable to get the distance. That was Abrams there on the route, and then Lightfoot ends up making a play about a half yard short to get Miami the ball back. And since then, they've been able to move it 79 yards, 12 plays, over 7 minutes. They've been able to take off the clock.
Jumbo. Look at all those giant bodies in orange out here on third and goal. Couple extra offensive linemen. They came skipping out of the huddle. These O-linemen trying to finish the job here. Brown is the back. No mystery, pure power. They made it look easy. Miami finds the end zone for the first time in a long time. Figures they'll go for 2 here with a 12-point margin.
Well, Michael Irvin wanted to see him finish it out. Appears they've done that with 4:08 to go. 13 plays, 80 yards.
As they say here at Miami, go for Dos. Brought to you by Dos Equis. It fits tonight. Trying to make it a 14-point game, 4:08 to play. They may have to spend a timeout. The operation a little bit slow to get going here. Play clock already down at 2. He was asking for a play clock reset. Did they try to punch it in from 3 yards out here for the 2 points?
No, I think you. Well, the way their offensive line's playing on this drive, maybe, but I would be surprised. I think he'll give Beck a chance to find one of his receivers here.
There's Corey Heatherman, by the way, the defensive coordinator
coming down
in Mario's year before this one. Fletcher has replaced Brown in the backfield. Beck looking to throw for it. Lowe's end zone, incomplete. It was a high ball. Keelan Marion didn't really go up to make a play on the ball. 7-12, Kirk. That's where they chewed up 80 yards, 13 plays.
Yeah, and it's finished off here. Well, might as well go with that offensive line. And whether it's Fletcher, in this case Brown, saw it early in the game, be successful. To Florida's credit, really did a good job of bottling up Miami's offense most of the game. But when it mattered most, after the 4th down stop, they got behind that line. Had a couple quick throws, but really it was about the offensive line and their toughness that they pride themselves on and able to put that touchdown up on the board.
Offense had been pretty stagnant, inefficient, to say the least, since the early stages of this game. That was a clutch drive. Yeah, they had a similar spell against Notre Dame. It was 4-3-and-outs in a row. They had the lead, but they couldn't quite put the Irish away. Eventually it got to be tied, and Beck had to come up with, and there was a running game in that game-winning field goal drive. A little bit reminiscent tonight.
It makes you start to peek ahead to 2 weeks. And I think everybody would agree Florida State is a different Florida State this year. Games in Tallahassee, Miami, and Florida State. Now, the Noles still have to play Virginia, but if they're able to win that and they're undefeated, that's the way it's supposed to be, right? Miami, Florida State, undefeated. But the Canes will have to get more balance and more from their passing game if they're going to try to go up to Tallahassee.
I want to ask you more about that, but let's go back to the drive, and it was the Brown show getting great catch to get it going. And
yeah, a really good catch because he had to have that one-hand ball thrown in behind him a little bit. Conversion here on 3rd and 1. This is really where they started to show that they're going to rely on that offensive line on this drive. Toughness of Brown. This guy, we knew what he could do at North Dakota State. He's starting to show Canes fans what he can do when it's crunch time in those short yardage situations.
Again, the former Bison national champion at the FCS level coming over here lending a strong, sturdy, and mature presence to this Miami running back room. He earned all those 74 yards. Urgency now. They can't be methodical. Gators got to try to strike downfield and deal with this pass rush. Lagway flips it far sideline. Hayden Hansen with the grab. Holly?
Well, guys, this defensive front for Miami has been aggressive tonight. Akeem Mesidor told me he wants to be the best pass rusher in America. Ruben Bain is his buddy, and they are feeding off of each other. They stay after practice every single day. They get extra work in with Jason Taylor, the defensive ends coach, and they are hungry, pushing each other, and it's shown up in their play tonight.
Jason Taylor, the former Dolphin legend, the one defensive assistant who was retained by Cristobal, and they're swarming right on cue. They sack him for a 4th time. Mesidor and Bain met at the quarterback, and there's Coach Taylor. Did that a lot in his career.
And for you and Holly, right on cue, look at the bend of Bain on the edge. You're talking about a big man, 275 pounds, able to bend like that and get to the corner and close on the quarterback. That is a beautiful thing to watch.
You're right, physically gifted, mentally gifted, just the relentlessness. Lagway, look out, running for his life and throws a high ball on the sidelines. Again, the Notre Dame game, they did this. They closed out the game. These two defensive ends were able to do this to C.J. Carr.
Yeah. Did you see how low he went? That's what the NFL is going to fall in love with. For him to be able to get down that low, keep his balance, and the burst that he has around the corner. And I love to hear Jason Taylor will talk to him about things he needs to work on. He's like, sir, yes, sir, whether it's before practice, after practice. And again, much like the offensive line on the other side, when your best players, your hardest workers, it's going to really help the rest of that roster.
Last gasp for Florida, 4th and 12. Four-man rush. Lagway escapes, fires over the middle, incomplete. Into the hands of Trey Wilson. He couldn't hold it, and that should do it as the Canes will take over deep in plus territory inside of 3 minutes.
Well, Lagway, to his credit, kept this play alive. That pocket closed on him in a hurry. Mesidor on a twist to the inside, flushed him out. He kept the play alive, had a chance, but the ball just dropped there, so they turn over on downs.
You know, Bain is a guy that played at Miami Central. He's had a tremendous high school career. Has just been a relentless guy since he got there, and joined by Mesidor, who's a Canadian, a guy who's played at West Virginia, came down. He's a very old soul, just a very wise guy. And these guys, as you pointed out, a lot of different pieces and parts.
Yeah.
There's fast, short, smaller guys, big, strong guys.
Yeah, so they get you in certain situations. They're able to rotate guys in. And I think Marquise Lightfoot is a guy that really represents that. At least tonight we saw that. So he's a very different body build compared to Mesidor and Bain.
Saw Moten and Blay in there. They're the big, wide guys. Rain falling again now as Miami continues to just try to muscle forward. That's Fletcher, who's getting close to 100 yards. Here's what we talked about. Well, you could do this without bringing the house, dropping guys in coverage, and C.J. Carr just nowhere to go.
Yeah, and again, if you watch their technique and the way, and here they get them on both on the same side, but if you watch when they know you're going to throw the football, how great is it for them to be able to learn from Jason Taylor? I mean, they're learning.
Back to me on that, but you'll be there, and you'll be talking about Bain pretty early, probably.
Sounds like top 5, top 10. Pittsburgh.
Fletcher still running, still getting shoved. Going to get all the way to the end zone. They got close. Fell down at the 2. A closing statement, much like the opening statement that this offensive line made.
This is old school football, and they take a great deal of pride in it. Look at this. It's a great Gators defense that has played their hearts out tonight, but you got to play 60 minutes. And that's
not a bad one to go to. If you ask me, being in Dallas would
be a good
worst things in life.
Yeah.
My favorite game. Fletcher in the backfield. Canes trying to punctuate this. Fletcher went over 100 yards on that last push down to the 2. Will be stopped a yard short. Napier had spent a timeout earlier. He's out of them. The 2-minute timeout's coming up a couple seconds here. Loyo Fatuli, 46 of there as an offensive lineman blocking for Fletcher. It's just a cakewalk into the end zone. It started with dominance. It will end with dominance. In the middle, the Gators fought hard. Canes got a little sluggish, but the scoreboard's going to make this look like probably what this was, domination by Miami overall.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we talked a lot about it in this first half. Florida struggled offensively mightily, made some adjustments, came back, got it within 6, had some momentum. But that's what good teams do, right? They get tested like that. Miami responded to what Florida put together, came up with that big stop, turned the game around, gave the ball back to Carson Beck and the offensive line, and they were able to secure victory.
Balance. More rushing yards than passing. Miami's got 183 in the ground. Beck 160 passing. And the head coach has indeed in year 4 got the horses to kind of play his kind of football.
Pound. Like that's what he loves. That's the DNA. And why not finish it off behind that offensive line?
He loves his martial arts. That's the effect of the ground and pound. You get your opponent down, and you're just going to hit them until they stop the thing.
Right. And over a 60-minute game, there's going to be ebb and flow. You're not going to control the entire game, but Mike Orban loves how the Canes responded tonight when Florida started to get that momentum.
He wouldn't mind a downfield pass play, but he certainly enjoyed what he's seen tonight. So now they get the bye week, and then they go to Tallahassee. And it will feel like old times. It'll feel beautiful to be up there at Doak Campbell with the Noles playing well. They got Virginia. It's an obstacle. Miami's got a bye week. Could be an edge going into that one. But Florida State has a quarterback in Tommy Castellanos, who's played Miami before. I don't have the stats, but my recollection is when he's at BC, he gave the Canes some trouble. He got out and ran around a little bit, and that'll be a plot line as we begin to point toward that showdown.
I think Tommy Castellanos really set the table for their season when they opened up with Alabama, and he made some public comments about Alabama and how they were going to take care of business, and then he backed it up and really got the Noles to believe in him and believe that this is a new year, and that'll be a fun showdown with Miami and Florida State. But Florida State, again, has got to take care of Virginia before they worry about that one.
Well, Kirk, tonight we want to pause to honor the memory of the guy. You were among his many friends, Brett James, and
just heartbroken for him,
his wife Melody,
family,
his daughter Meryl.
Tragic. He can't even. Hard to comprehend. Our thoughts are with his family.
Lagway shoved out of bounds here. It's Miami defense, unless something pops late, is going to hold a fourth consecutive opponent under 100 yards rushing.
Yeah, we talked a lot about where Miami goes from here, coming up with Florida State. Gators, last time they started 1-3 was 1986, with a really tough schedule still ahead. Toughest remaining schedule in the country ahead of them.
Lagway dances sideways and flips it short to Hayden Hansen, the tight end. Yeah, many felt it was the toughest schedule in the country, period.
Yeah.
Having to play LSU and Miami early. And then, this is not exactly going to get easier for Billy Napier. He'll be 1-3 with this SEC gauntlet. Texas in the swamp.
At A&M.
College Station. Georgia.
At
Jacksonville.
Tennessee. Florida State.
Where's the easy win there?
I don't see one. And they're already sitting at 1-3.
Third down play. Canes bring pressure again, and it's dropped. Hansen, not sure he had to jump, did so, couldn't collect it, and it's fourth down again.
Instead of, if you're DJ Lagway, you're a Gators player, there's going to be a lot of negative talk about DJ Lagway, about Billy Napier. This is where you really, really got to pull in tight as a team and just take each week as they come, block out the noise the best you can, stay tight, stay united, and just fight through it.
Well, the big number tonight, not the interceptions. He hasn't thrown one. The ugly number is third down. 0 for 13. And that fourth down fails as Bain brings the pressure. Did not convert a single time against Miami on third down tonight.
Well, I don't know about going over, but when you have this kind of pass rush and you get into obvious passing situations on third down, his get off and his bend, it's really, really remarkable that he wanted a sack so bad, but a man that's that big can move the way he moves and can bend and show the athletic ability that he has. And like we've talked about, it's not only his pass rush. What separates him is the pride that he takes in setting an edge. And when they get you to those third down situations, look at this. He doesn't just pass rush and give up on a play. This guy's chasing the ball all over the field. There's the bend. These offensive tackles are going to face him. They better be asking for chips from tight ends and running backs. There's not an offensive tackle in college football that can hold up 4 quarters against these two defensive ends.
Changed his body, changed his diet, lost about 15 pounds, put on some muscle, began to really take it serious. The biggest sacrifice was eating better, but began to train like a pro. Now they're in victory formation. Miami flex early, dominated the first half, held the Gators to 25 yards. Florida eventually got it going. Miami want to clean up some things on offense. Still a lot of pre-snap penalties. They had the one pick. So, again, there's going to be room for improvement, and that's what Cristobal and his staff will hammer on. And they'll have 2 weeks to get ready for that showdown with the Noles.
Yeah, that's always, again, the beautiful thing, especially when you're in September. You're able to win a football game, and it's not perfect, but you're able to really get back to the film room and tell guys, hey, we left a lot out there, guys. we got to get better. And if we want to go where we really think we can go, we got to get better. So, big win for the Canes. Onward to the bye week and then up to Tallahassee to take on the Noles.
Yeah, it's a Miami manhandling tonight. People beginning to understand this looks like a team that can contend for every trophy, including the one that's going to be handed.